Hi, I'm Brian with Brinkley RV. Today I'm going to show you the features of your Brinkley Command Center. Let's check it out. Today we're utilizing a Model Z 3100 for the purposes of this video. Please note that from model to model, just depending on the floor plan layout, that your command center may be in a slightly different area. In this particular unit, the command center is right behind this cabinet door, right up in front of the entry door. So I'm gonna open that door for you guys. And when you open the door, the lights turn on to the command center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start at the top and just kind of work my way all the way down the panel and explain everything that's there for you. So starting at the top of the panel, in the upper left-hand corner here, you're gonna have a display that shows you how full all of your various tanks are. Please note from model to model, we may have different tanks showing here just depending on your tank configuration. This particular panel has your fresh tank, your black tank, and there's 2 gray tanks in this unit, so each one has its own level reading on this. This indicates that it's empty. The sensors will show you if it's 1/3, 2/3, or all the way full. So this just helps you to know when you need to refill your fresh tanks and when you need to dump your gray and black tanks. The panel does go to sleep. You can just swipe at it to turn it back on if the lights turn off. In the upper right-hand corner, it's got a built-in battery meter. It's not very sophisticated, just gives you a very rough guess as to where your battery charge is. So here on the battery, it shows it's either charged, good, fair, or low. So really kind of the 1/3 principle again. When you're plugged in, this is going to show that it's charged because we're actually running off of shore power and not off of the battery at the moment. Then in the next 2 rows here, we have various features. The majority of it's going to be lighting. So I'm going to talk about each light and we'll show you where it's located on the unit. So in the very upper left-hand corner here, you have 2 awning lights, 1 and 2. So I'm going to press 1 and show you where that one's located. The next light that we have available on the command center is your rear awning. And you can just turn it on and off again just by pressing the button. So the third light on the panel is your main living area ceiling light. So when I push this one, the light on the interior of the coach will turn on and off. Please note too that there's a redundant switch for the ceiling light. It's actually this black paddle and dimmer switch here. So we added this so that you would have dimming capabilities in the living room, and also it has to be in the panel so that when you're using one control on your phone, you're able to operate the ceiling light from there. So in the first row, the 4th light here is for your scare light. This is actually the light on the off door side of the unit to give you light, particularly when you're trying to load and unload, tear down camp, and set up at night. So just push the button and the scare light comes on. Next light over in the first row is the soffit light. That is directly above the kitchen island. Show you what that one looks like. Then the last button in the first row is to Bluetooth pair a mobile device to the command center so that you can utilize the One Control app to operate the many features. We do have a separate video for pairing your phone to the command center, so please refer to that video for additional instruction. So the next row of lights that we have here starts with the pendant light in the second row. That is the light that is just above the kitchen island. Then the next one in this row that we have is the island light. That's at the base of the island. It's the accent light. Again, blue means that it's on, white means it's off. Now that we're done with the lights, there are 2 additional buttons in this row. The next one is the water pump. So you can also turn the water pump on and off at the water convenience panel outside on the off door side of the unit. This button does the same exact thing, so you're able to turn it on and off. If it's lit up blue, it's on. So the next one is your tank heaters. Your holding tanks all have a heater pad on the bottom. So turning that on will activate those heater pads to help ensure that the water doesn't freeze. So now we're down to the bottom of the panel. The first 2 switches on the left side of the panel are the 2 exterior awnings. These are labeled 1 and 2. At current, number 1 is the main awning, number 2 is the rear. Just to give you a heads up, we are contemplating reversing these so that the awnings actually match the way that they lay out on the unit. So First time you get your coach, you may need to check which awning is which, and once you know, you'll know for all time on that. There's a retract button to retract your awning, as well as an extend button to extend it. So simply push which direction you want to go. Right now our awnings are out, so I'm going to hit the retract button. And note that this particular button you do have to press and hold the entire time. If I let off the button, the awning is going to stop at whatever location it is. So the last three switches that we have on the command center are the ones that operate your slides. They work very similar to the awnings. You have to press and hold them while you're utilizing them. Instead of the retract and extend, it's an in and out on the panel. So if you want to run your slides out, you're going to hit the in button, press and hold it. If you're going to run them out, you're going to have to press and hold the out button. So now that we've covered all the features of the actual panel, let me discuss what else is in this cabinet for you real quickly. There's a small QR code here in the corner. The first time that you're using your unit, this QR code will actually take you to the Apple or Android store, depending on which phone you have, so that you can download a copy of the Lippert One Control app. When you scan that QR, you're going to get a screen that will pop up similar to this. Note that you do have to have the One Control app to be able to operate the many features of your Model Z from your phone. The next QR code here in the middle, the larger black one, this is actually one of our QR codes. You may have actually scanned this to get to this video. If you ever need to come back and refer to this, you can also just scan this QR versus searching our Owner's Hub online to find the information. And then we have already covered this light switch being the main ceiling redundant to up on the command center. In the middle here, it says Max Air at the top. This is the control to be able to operate the Max Air fan that's located in your main living area. There's 4 buttons on here. The top one allows you to toggle through the different fan speeds. The bottom button here is to turn the fan off once it's running. And then the left, that's the right. And on the right side here, we have vent open and vent close. That just opens the vent on the outside of the unit to allow you to exhaust the air out of the unit. And then finally here, on the right-hand side, this circular item that says Furan at the top. This is actually a more sensitive battery meter. So it has 3 buttons on it. If I click on the button on the left here with the V, it's going to display the current voltage on my battery. So this particular battery right now is showing 3.58. We are plugged into shore power too, so we are getting full voltage at the moment. The button on the right-hand side with the percent will actually show you the percent to full charge of your battery. And then finally in the middle, there's one that says A/AH. When you press this button, it shows you the current amp hour draw that your unit is taking from the battery. So in this particular case right now, the only thing we really have turned on is a couple of the lights, so the amperage is relatively low, so we're toggling in between 0.18 and 0.27 amp hours. So that just gives you a good idea generally of how charged is your battery, what's the voltage on it, and you can check this under load to make sure your battery is still operating and healthy, and then what type of draw you're pulling off of that battery to try to gauge how long your battery will last. And then last but not least, we do have another video that goes through all the features of Safe Ride, but if you get in a pinch, we don't want you to have to look through all of your owner's manuals and related documents to try to find the numbers for Safe Ride. So we put this sticker in here for you. There's 2 phone numbers on here. The first one in bold up here is if you have a roadside assistance need. You're going to call this 888-842-5715 number. And if you just have general questions, you need some troubleshooting advice, have questions about your unit, and it's after hours in your dealer and or Brinkley, customer care is not available for you at the time, you can call this 855-963-1770 number, and that will give you access to over 3,000 service technicians located in 5 customer care centers across the nation. They are open 24/7, 365. And that's all the features of your command center and all the related features in the same cabinet.